Good evening. My name is Andrea Gameros, and for the final project, I decided to talk about Tableau and Microsoft BI in the context of knowledge management tools. And this is for my final project in my Info 4307 class, which is Knowledge Management Tools and Technologies, and is a course taught by Dr. Merlot at the University of North Texas. So this is the agenda for today. We'll start with an introduction to knowledge management, like its concepts and tools and technologies, an overview of the knowledge management visualization tools, and talk about the importance of visualization in KM and why the specific tools were chosen. Then we will move on to tool definitions for both Tableau and Power BI, and the comparative analysis of those tools and cover concepts such as their benefits, challenges, opportunities, scalability, dashboard, cost benefit, user interface, and other relevant aspects. Lastly, we'll cover an evaluation across 6 dimensions of KM, and this includes strategy, organizational culture, organizational processes, management and leadership, technology, and lastly, politics. And at the very end of this PowerPoint, there is going to be a link to the blog that will summarize this information as well as the reference page. So, introduction. Today's organizations rely on knowledge as it is one of their most valuable assets. It is important to have a system that manages it effectively. Knowledge management is a set of practices to make sure that knowledge is created, organized, and shared wisely. So, this is about enabling better decisions that will benefit an organization, obviously, have continuous ongoing improvement. It is also a great way to share information both explicitly, for example, documents, reports, things that are written on paper, and also tacitly, which is information that is based on experience and expertise of a certain individual. There are different platforms in which knowledge management can be supported, and for today, I'll be talking about two in specific: Tableau and Power BI, which are seen as collaboration and BI platforms or business intelligence. This helps people make knowledge accessible and actionable across different organizations. Overview. So, visualizations have a greater responsibility in knowledge management or KM as it helps data become more understandable and usable. It is important to learn how to handle and visualize large amounts of data, as you can see visual patterns and relationships. Tools like Tableau and Power BI help turn complex and large amounts of data into something people can understand. This information can be summarized in the forms of dashboards, charts, and stories that will support communication and organizational culture. Like I said earlier, they basically aid in converting tacit knowledge into explicit insights that can be shared across organizations if managed effectively. So now we move on to tool definitions. So we will start with Tableau. So Tableau is a business intelligence tool that is designed to help organizations summarize complex data. Tableau converts data into interactive dashboards, which people can easily understand. It also has a drag and drop interface, which makes it simple for users with little knowledge about the KM tool to analyze and recognize patterns. And here I will cite Midway. So Midway supports the idea that Tableau helps in knowledge management due to the design features that make it intuitive to enhance organizational knowledge and learning, such as its interface and clear labeling tools that support clear interpretation. Now on to Power BI. So this is Microsoft's business intelligence and analytics tool. It works in a similar manner to Tableau, but it's also integrated with the Microsoft ecosystem, which is a great tool to use if organizations are already using Excel, Teams, or even SharePoint. Power BI is also able to transform data into explicit assets, which ultimately help teams make data-driven decisions. And they also provide a cloud service that supports collaborations and automated updates, which is crucial for organizations with a lot of users. All right. So the impact of business intelligence on KM systems. So for this analysis, I will quote Ain et al. They published a systematic literature review over business intelligence systems. They state that, quote, BI is an information system that supports the decision process by one, facilitating more aggregation systematic integration, and management of unstructured and structured data. 2, dealing with a huge amount of data, for example, big data. 3, providing end users with increased processing capabilities to discover new knowledge. And 4, offering analysis, solution, ad hoc queries, reporting, and forecasting. Some of the benefits of using Tableau include that they have highly interactive and visually appealing dashboards, and they also include a drag and drop interface that can be used by everyone, including non-technical users. They also feature strong data connections that can also include large data sets from cloud databases such as SQL, Oracle, MySQL, and simple files such as Excel and CSV or comma separated values. In terms of challenges, every tool that you use will obviously come with a learning curve, and it is worth pointing out that Tableau has advanced options that not everyone may understand at first hand. One of the main concerns for users is that they lack the knowledge to understand all the perks the system has to offer. In terms of the opportunities, Tableau is a great tool that emphasizes data literacy and visual communication. It also supports enterprise knowledge management by centralizing large amounts of data onto dashboards, which can be used as a way to share knowledge. One of the main benefits of Power BI is its seamless integration with Microsoft 365 tools such as Excel, Teams, and SharePoint. It also has lower licensing costs from Tableau. For example, its Pro license can range from $10 per month, while different Tableau tiers can range from $30 to $70. Of course, there are more advanced features or scaling that can add cost to both tools, but to some extent, Power BI is better in that aspect. Since it works well with 365 tools, it also has a user friendliness for people that are familiar with those tools. Okay, so here's a quick comparison of both tools in the context of its scalability, dashboards, user interface, and cost benefit. In the context of scalability, both tools are incredibly strong, but some excel in different environments. We see that Tableau is great at dealing with large data sets and supporting enterprises through their servers and cloud. Power BI works well within Microsoft environments and also performs strongest when using tools like DAX. In terms of dashboards, Tableau is very customizable as users can customize their visuals however they see fit, which is ideal for storytelling and analytics. Power BI's dashboards are more structured and standardized in a way which is great for reports, KPIs, key performance indicators, and automated refresh cycles. They both support interactive visuals, but Tableau has a slight lead on design freedom. Tableau's user interface has a drag and drop functionality that is very intuitive and encourages exploration. And in my opinion, is designed for people that prioritize visualization, and it is great for those that don't have extending coding skills. Power BI is again more familiar with those Microsoft tools that we've been talking across the presentation. One more thing that we need to talk about is the cost benefit. Tableau does have a higher cost that can be justified due to organizations needing advanced visualization, and Microsoft's Power BI does have a lower cost of entry, and I believe it is included in Microsoft 365 subscription, which is a good value for most organizations if you're already working with those tools. Again, one of the limitations that we talked about is that they do have higher costs. Now I'm talking about Tableau's limitations. It can also be complex for beginners beyond just the basic drag and drop interface. It can even slow down or even crash sometimes when dealing with more complex data. One big thing that I didn't mention before is that it may need some prior data preparation. Here we introduce the concept of exploratory data analysis or EDA in modeling. So we still need to learn the concept of strong data preparation and different data models before we jump onto the visualization aspect. Some of the other relevant aspects are that it does offer great analytics features such as forecasting, clustering, and trend lines. It is also great for visual storytelling and also showcasing different EDA steps. And as mentioned before, it integrates well with other Tableau tools. Now we move on to the limitation and other relevant aspects of Power BI. Power BI has limitations with customization, and also requires users to learn DAX. Those are your data analysis expressions for more advanced tools. Despite these limitations, I can't stress this enough, it still does integrate well with other Microsoft tools. It is capable of automated refresh and also does offer some AI-driven features that increase accessibility for users that aren't technical with the system. And its structured layout and lower costs just make it appealing for organizations that already rely on Microsoft for their operations. Now we will move on to the 6 dimensions of knowledge management, and some of this information has already been presented from the previous slides. Much of it can also be inferred from the comparisons I have already made. Here I will emphasize those points again and talk about how these tools support strategy, culture, processes, leadership, technology, and organizational politics. In terms of KM strategy, Tableau is excellent for organizations that encourage users to dig deep into data and explore different hidden patterns and also communicate insights. Again, visualizing data encompasses different subjects. You need to understand what is going on and obviously ask questions about the data and be curious about what is going on. That's the only way that you can get real information across. Power BI works well with enterprise level strategies that already use Microsoft 365. It supports data governance and consistent reporting, and is great if you need real-time information. Here's a little bit about organizational culture. Tableau supports the idea of exploration and creativity, and teams are encouraged to play around and find out what works best for them and what they like and think that it's important in a presentation. They can test hypotheses and play around with their interactive dashboards. I find it to be great. I find it to be a great tool for innovation and creativity. Power BI is more collab based. It integrates well with Teams and SharePoint, and it's ground for daily communication. It also fits well in organizations that value consistency and transparency and also knowledge sharing. Tableau is good for processes that involve a deeper analysis. It works well with models and the real in the world of in the realm of risk evaluation, forecasting, trend analysis, and so on and so forth. You simply can build visuals on the fly. On the other hand, Power BI works well in more structured processes. You can create different KPIs that are suited to the operational practices of a specific company. From a business standpoint, both tools will obviously gain an insight from presentations. Tableau helps leaders understand issues visually, but it does require more investment in training and good managerial decisions. Power BI gives leaders consistent dashboards that they can quickly interpret, and executives can adopt it with very little effort. Now we move on to the last part of the presentation, which is technology and politics. Tableau is strong in visualization, performance, and you can pretty much connect it to any database, but it does require Tableau server or cloud for shareability. In the context of politics, again, this is how we control and influence affect the knowledge sharing process. Tableau gives analysts a lot of freedom, which can sometimes lead to disagreements over which visuals are more accurate than others. Power BI has a deep integration with Microsoft 365 and does include strong AI features. It also does offer stronger centralized governance. Permission and roles can be managed through admin tools through Microsoft, making it clear who owns which reports and how to uphold organizational knowledge.